This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your live market chat for Thursday, January 11th, 2024. Jesus. So anyway, hopefully you're doing well. Just got, done with a few chats, talking to people. Seems like everybody and their mom was thinking the CPI, whatever it ended up being, would be just a blast off day. And then I said to myself, when it popped first thing this morning, I posted this on Twitter, I was like, I would be surprised if we closed up. I mean, go on record. Here you go. Posted this 2 hours ago. We're going to show me the time. Yeah, 7:52 a.m. my time. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I personally, again, there's zero doubt that we are going to have a massive recession and there's no soft landing. I like to beckon that Janet Yellen, as I've said, is the biggest clown in the history of central bankers. I mean, she was the one who could have literally refinanced the whole government debt to 30, 40, 50-year bonds at 0% interest rates or whatever. I mean, you know what I mean? When the market was at zero, you could have gotten 1, 2, 3%. Didn't do anything. Anytime she said certain things like, there's going to be no recession, problem, the markets flip over. And basically, I mean, I'm not going to call, like everyone likes to say that Kramer is the guy. I honestly think she's the actual tell. Like when she says stuff, it's her. Like, pay attention. Like, she's the fade. And so she basically said there's 0% chance of a recession next year. It's like, oh, it's definitely coming. So again, doesn't mean the market's going to tank today, but let's talk about it. If you have any questions, please reach out. Appreciate a lot of support. All y'all being great donations. Everybody who's just involved. It's always appreciated. It's a game. We're all trying to do the best. Now again, we knew a bounce. I'm just impressed. I mean, every time. And give yourself grace if you're wrong in certain names acting better than others, hitting certain resistances. But like if you shorted Nvidia, like hopefully you did not get run over, because that was bonkers, right? Meta playing games, like got that little biscuit. I mean, how many days in a row can it get upgraded at the highs as Zuckerberg is literally dumping shares? I'm not going to be surprised when later today I read A, B, C, D, E, F, G about doing what? Oh, look at that. Zuckerberg sold another 100 million worth of shares. Oh, it's for tax reasons. Like, okay. Okie dokie. So again, if you have any questions, please reach out. Appreciate all the love, support. Like, subscribe, notification bell. Trying to get over 19,000 or 1,900 followers. Again, I'm always amazed. So many people listen but aren't subscribed. So it's on you. Updating the website as we speak. Following X. So let's check out, again, no cut coming in January, especially with today's CPI, and then target for March. Now, again, people are like, well, let's talk about the CPI. It's rear looking. It really doesn't matter to me. It's coming in higher than expected. I think the thing that's been rather frustrating is that, did I repost this? This is a big deal. Truck sector layoffs. Remember, where is it? Speculators all in. That doesn't bother me too much. I mean, not surprised by that. Here you go. Inverted yield curve. Like everything's pulling bearish. Where is it? I guess I didn't. The Fed's pumped in liquidity in the last 2 months. I don't know if you guys saw that. I don't know where the post is, and I apologize I didn't post it. But the Feds had pumped in more liquidity in the last 2 months than like something previously combined, something crazy. And it's like, what are they doing? And it's like, of course you're going to get inflation if you pump in a ton of liquidity. It's like they don't even know what it's the blind leading the blind. I hope people starting to recognize that about the Feds and what's going on in the markets. Like, I don't want to be some sort of Pollyanna and like, oh, it's everything. No, these guys are going to fucking crash everything at some point. They always do. Either you're going to have runaway inflation or an absolute smash. And I think if they want to protect the dollar, it's going to be smash city. So, again, if you have any questions, interact, leave a comment below. I'll try to check the Discode 30-year auction. Yep, keep an eye on that one. That could be a fucking nightmare. Excuse my language. Those bonds auctions, those long-dated ones. No bueno. So going into tomorrow, you got all the bank earnings. JP Morgan runs up to all-time highs going into the Epstein stuff. Like, they're literally the bank of, I mean, just call them Epstein Bank. Anybody related to that? I mean, it's like no one's going to get in trouble. We'll see. So that kind of boggles my mind. Bitcoin, yeah. I mean, was it a matter of time before it got approved? No. I'm just kind of mind boggled by the fact that like people are like, oh, now's the time to buy. I'm like, and they're like, oh yeah, when gold released an ETF, it went up this and that, and it's like, hold on, pause the brakes here. This has been like the most anticipated ETF release in the history of ETF releases, in my opinion. Do you not think somewhere in the past, everybody knew this was coming? I mean, I knew it was coming. I mean, it's just a matter of when. Is this a sell the news event? Look at the volume up here at the highs. Now, I'm not saying long term it's not going higher. I don't really care to perceive future value. But my spidey sense of trading says, all right, well, buy the rumor, sell the news. Here's the news. Oh, no, don't talk about Bitcoin like that. And I'm like, I'm not trying to talk about Bitcoin. And like, don't take it as negative. Just don't be surprised if it pulls back 20%, 30%. Like, that's the nature of the beast. How many times have you seen gold supposed to rip out and it goes up into some move and then it flops? Or you seen a stock that like everybody's talking about it's going to be amazing and then it sells. Now, again, if it doesn't sell in one day, don't sit here and judge it, because that's not how it happens sometimes. It can be multiple days. Makes sense? Ten cuidado. Oil, we talked about, sloppy, choppy. Saudis reducing. Look at natural gas. Oh, you got to my spot. Congratulations. KOLD, again, talked about taking profits up here. Or down here. Let me see if I can pull up KOLD. Again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate. We said watching this level. Not like on this, but like UNG. And so that would mean like somewhere in the 60s, upper 60s probably. And there you go. Great trade. The fruit, mind boggled that people are like going crazy bullish. We said it was oversold. We talked about that. We said watch maybe the 8-day filling this gap, this chop zone here. Oops. That's normal. Like, this is what you see. Down and then some up, and then again, everyone oversold. It's oversold. Okay. Meta, again, endless upgrades at the highs. Get out of here. Get the fudge out of here. Okay, we'll see if this continues on. It feels like a fake breakout, in my opinion. It's now trading back at a 32 PE with minimal growth. Good luck with that. Good old NVIDIA. Again, glad we sidestepped that one. Interesting little, I don't know, you can draw trend lines here. What is that line from? Oh, that's right. This is a pre-split. Some of these lines kind of pop from the past. Kind of ironic that one popped up, but that's not an actual line of resistance. I'm pretty sure I don't know, I guess you could call it there. There's a lot of ways. If you looked at, I don't know, you could say that open there. I don't know. I like to draw them in multiple ways, and they're all converging here. Now, again, so this is where if you want to sit here and get a ruler out and try to make the exact high, good luck. I'd be curious real quick if you have a second. Of course you got a second. You're here hanging out. This is a fib extension near term. Yeah, here you go. 1.5, 1.38. Okay. Yeah, you're into the fib zones here near term. Just be careful. Again, I mean, did anyone notice, I mean, what they're talking about? Like they're okay, they're going to release another chip. And then they have to release another chip. And then someone else in competition, AMD, NVIDIA. Sorry, intellectual property, Micron. I mean, they're all coming. Taiwan. Semi's going to, I don't know. Just be careful. Again, Nancy Pelosi. And here's my biggest thing with that is that if I was in Congress, I would be absolutely destroying her for that. I mean, hey, look at this. The clearest, obvious, like, insider trading, like, bullshit that I've ever seen. I mean, seriously. Right? Like, unreal. Unreal. I mean, no one's going to care? Okay. If that says a lot. So I got a text. All right. Taiwan Semi. To me, this is like the easiest short in the history of shorts. It's a matter of if, not when. Tesla. Wow. This beaming beauty. I mean, man, I can't believe it was a. This is. Take note of this, right? Like, this is what everyone thinks the top looks like, and then it usually ends up being choppy. You love the one touch. You got it. That's impressive. SMH. Shmeh. Chopping. Chop, chop. Chop, chop. Right? XLF. This going into bank earnings. Love the short here. Now at this exact price today, no. I mean, just if you've been in this for days and weeks and you have positions, hopefully you have longer dated. You're not just sitting here going, well, it's a binary event. I'm going to get toasted on it. No. Again, pick your names well. I mean, I think you have Bank of America, Citigroup, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, all tomorrow morning. Good luck. Maybe a mixed bag. But finally, first test of the 20-day. Dude, that's exciting for me. Exciting. Netflix, some posted about like, wow, look at this, another blow off. Look at that candle. Good God. All right, you see the Tesla candle, and then we talk about retest. That's a retest. If that ain't the top, I don't know what is. Like, that's how you, like, literally, again, you can't draw it better than that. Now, again, they have earnings coming up, so be careful. MicroStrategy, what do we say? Microsailor. Someone knows something. This is what's crazy. Like, he's selling more shares. Obviously, they're going to say he's going to buy Bitcoin. But do yourself a damn favor. Like, this stock is saying something ain't right with the stock. Get out. I know people are like, oh, it's always going higher. I'm like, Bitcoin's making new highs, and this is making new lows. Is this like the miners? Again, we'd like to talk about how, like, miners lead gold. Well, is this a Bitcoin proxy that's leading Bitcoin? Speaking of gold. Nothing. Leave it alone. Said the GDX. Again, think of like MicroStrategy. Here's GDX. Why is GDX not breaking 36 minimum? Instead, it's making new lows. Oh, Dan, but silver no silver bells here, Biat. No, look at this. This is ugly, y'all. Again, oil. This is hard. I don't even want to, like, oil. Ooh, this is a tough one. XOP, a little tricky dicky. Chopping. Ooh. Exxon Mobil, chopping. These are all hard trades. Again, I don't want to short Bitcoin or, like, commodities so much unless I have great entry, but I don't think anything's safe. We talked about yesterday's market. Like, again, I didn't do a recap, but I posted them like, I don't need to say the same thing over. Wait to see what happens to CPI. Like, you had amazing opportunities this morning at the highs to short. Some of y'all did on the Discord room. High five to you. High five to you. Real man of genius. Yeah. So J Solstice for sure. I know some of y'all were just like all over this. Like, good. Sometimes it's just, again, if no one asks questions, I don't want to repeat myself. It's not my job to tell people what to do. If I'll offer insights, but if no one's asking questions, I don't know. I just don't want to repeat. I hate being a broken record. Like, that's just always frustrating me. Check that out, y'all. Talked about problems. Yeah, here you go. So, let me know if you got a question. Interrupt. If not, we can just wrap this up. 15 minutes. Again, I think the market's going to be, I don't know if we're going to have absolute smash today. Would I be surprised? There's room for it. Like, let's dig into the index if you want. Like, I'm mind boggled that they would even retest that. Like, makes zero sense. But now it's even clearer that this is a chop top, in my opinion. QQQ tried to get the 411. No fucking way. Again, fills the gap. We talked about the first bounce get bought. Like, hopefully nobody missed that. If you missed that, no. I hope to God you didn't. But not really looking good. I mean, again, I'd like to look at the IWM and financials, kind of really trust the move. Look at the IWM. Looks like shit. We talked about it would be bouncing. This is the thing, right? Especially with the VIX in the like 12, 13. Like, it's going to be smooth and orderly down until it's not. Again, go back to the fine. I mean, we just showed you baby banks. Like, these look like shit. I'm sorry. Sorry, bulls. Someone's going to get mad at me and go, oh, you're biased. And it's like, man, I'm trying to be evidence-based. Any notifications? Anyone have any questions? No? Cool. Talking to myself, people are like, oh, you're a loser. Always someone has something mean to say. And it's like, thanks. Thanks, bud. You ruined my day. No, I'm just kidding. Any other thoughts, questions, concerns? I mean, they're like bouncing the market all over the place. Watching the 10-minute. Let's go to the videotape. Looking at the hourly. Probably gonna get stuck around here or get going, popping. Could it? I don't know. Come on, 10-minute. I was watching. I was like, oh, do we have the doji at the 20, or is this a double top trap intraday? Qs again, blah blah. I mean, I'm at this point where, again, I think January, the first 3 business days of January showed us a lot about what to expect this year. To me, it's going to be hotly contested, whether it's going to be bullish or bearish. And I honestly think it's going to be extremely bearish at times, but then there's going to be the counter rallies. There's going to be the craziness. So if you're not mentally prepared for it, then set your alarms for lower prices, and that's all. I'm just wait it out. And again, the preface is, unless the Feds go QE crazy, I mean, they try to inject liquidity with quietness, but call me a cynic, call me whatever you want to call me. When they injected all that liquidity and didn't tell anybody, leave a comment below if you disagree. Was that just not the buddy pass? Like the ultimate buddy pass to all their friends? Hey guys, we're going to crash the market. We're going to pump in liquidity, and if you need to unload assets, here's your chance. Here's your chance, guys. Come on in. It's November. Yeah. Come on in. We're going to pump in a ton of liquidity in the market for you. And then, because, yeah, we know the recession's coming. We know it's going to be bad. We know we don't know what the hell we're doing. Well, we actually do know that we're going to make mistakes. And do yourself a favor. We're going to flush the markets with liquidity. Do yourself a favor and sell. But do us a favor. Don't tell anybody. Would that be crazy to think? Seems like, feels like, smells like bullshit to me. Like in a trap. Because again, it's like endless growth without a recession is a cancer. Like, think about it in your body. Endless growth without recovery. This is crazy, guys. Like, look at this shit. Tech companies trading like there's nothing. Like, again, like, what's value at this point? Like, what is, like, how do you value a company? Like, if we're sitting around and 4 of us are playing Shark Tank, I have zero desire to invest in any of these mega tech companies. I'm like, no. When am I going to make my money back? Okay, they don't pay dividends. Okay. Like, you're paying an insane valuation times future earnings. Like, anything can go wrong, creates a problem. And then relative to, like, the market, like, you can buy much cheaper market participants, items, things, whatever you want to call it, like what's the best word to describe it, but stocks that have better growth, cheaper valuations, better dividends, better pizza, Papa John's. Better what? Like, I don't know why that keeps popping in. Better pizza, better ingredients, Papa John's. That's what I'm thinking about the Qs. Like, you got to be fucking high to be like sitting here and going like, I'm going to outperform the market buying tech up here. But it's a future, Dan. If I heard that, every time I've heard that statement and collected a penny for it, how that would be the only, like, how to rationalize a stock value that's insanely overpriced. I mean, I could probably start a hedge fund, and just say, all right, when when sentiment becomes So like a stock runs up, valuation doesn't matter, and everyone just goes, it's the future. Don't worry about that, and then shorted those stocks. Wow. Especially extreme pricing. Like, wow. Like, yeah. I mean, you could probably have a fun just on that. And especially when it's sentiment, right? The sentiment, not just our opinion, but like when everybody agrees, it's the future. That's when I could probably make $1 billion just shorting that. Maybe that's the. Who wants to help me start this ETF? It's the future. It's the future, not future ETF. Leverage ETF. 3 times short. No, I'm just kidding. Peloton. It's the future. Like it's a iPad with a bike on it, or a bike with an iPad on it. Okay. Lemonade. It's the future of insurance. I'm like, okay. It's the future. It's the future. I mean, again, you hear the same stupid shit, isn't it? And it's just like, no one says it's the future at the lows, right? Nobody's sitting here slamming tables like, Tesla's the future when it was at $30 a share back in the day when I used to recommend. I'm like, I think they're a good stock. Oh, no. Nvidia is the future when it's at $120 a share. No. Now it's the future. Does this make sense? Makes sense, dollars? It's all, again, it's just kind of silly to me. It's all just, it becomes like a silly game. Whew. Deep breaths. Because again, you look at the market and you go, what can we use as a past indicator to kind of be thoughtful of the future? I just keep going back to the 1970s. America loses its pride. Well, people might argue we're gaining our pride, but I'm thinking more of like internationally. Like we have no pride. Watergate. I mean, does anyone not think that the next election, and this is why this year it's like, dude, you're about to see the craziest. I mean, I don't know who wins and if elections are even like legit anymore, but do you not think this year is going to be an absolute shit show? Absolute. Imagine when the recession like 2008 pops in, going into election. Oh my God. I'm sorry, I'm laughing internally because it's like, it's going to be a volatile time. Petrodollar, America, I mean, like all these things. But here's the thing. Being wrong happens. And if we were about to break out, then I guess you got to stop out of any shorts and just look for dips later to buy if you want to go long. I've said this and I'll go on record. And this is the thing. Again, it's not pride. It's just evidence. I mean, you trade long enough and you go, all right. Every significant down move of my trading career, which is basically this time frame, market inflections happen when the VIX really spiked. And here are your 2 bear markets, like massive ones. Here's a third, obviously. Remember, SPY VIX. SPY is the VIX. Or the VIX is related to the SPY. Like, so if you had like a Q VIX, you can imagine in 99 it spiked with tech getting wrecked. We have not even came close to a 40, like upper 40, low 50 handle. To really think that everything that is wrong with the markets, the future, recessions, commercial real estate, residential real estate, you throw out the bag. No, but the market climbs the wall of worry. Granted, we agree. There's always, and again, this is what is going to get silly at some point, right? Okay. I mean, show me a 50 handle plus. I'll show you panic. I'll show you the bull. The bulls being like put in their place. Meaning, like, again, a reset. Like, how long can you run the same AI belief? And it's like, I don't know how long. Do we not think AI is going to increase unemployment? I do. I mean, look at this today. Did I repost it on Twitter? It showed. Oh, here you go. All I keep seeing is job cut, job cut, job cut, job cut, job cut. Okay, good luck. So going on 25 minutes. Any other last comments, thoughts, concerns? Again, I think the market, I mean, if you want to get really technical about the levels and what to expect near term, again, I mean, I don't know if we'll dump today. I don't really want to assume anything other than I don't think we'll be up today, but I'd be watching the 28, like all these little moving averages. We crashed through this. Goodbye. Somebody knows something about the banks. Somebody knows something. And again, for the banks to rip to highs like JP Morgan, like think about it. Like commercial real estate fall off a cliff, residential real estate, loan generation, HELOCs, all that stuff has basically hit a fucking grinding halt. It's impossible to get a loan unless you have like amazing credit and willing to put down tremendous amount of money. Again, you can get obviously FHA loans and you can obviously get subsidized loans, but the average person by themselves, like their DTI, like the banks are like, nope. Sorry, you have a $1,200 car payment. You know, looks like, you know, your income, looking at your income statements, sounds great, but this mortgage payment is going to take up more than you can, more than you think. And we're sorry, we're not going to be able to give you a loan. You're going to have to buy, instead of a $500,000, you're going to be at $300,000. Oh, well, then I can get into the rant about creative finance if you want to buy houses without that. That's typically, like, it's very possible. Let me help you out. I know how to put you in contact with people. Because, again, I'm not going to the bank for my next loan. Screw them. I don't need to go to a bank. There's sellers out there that have paid off their houses. People are willing to let you take over their loan just to help build their credit, subject to. Let people let you take over their loan. Maybe if it's a VA, you can assume it. There's wraps. There's all sorts of fun little games. Again, in the end, when you're talking to the seller, you and the buyer, you do not need to interject the bank. But Dan, what about the due on sale clause if you take over someone's loan? Yeah, that's typically a problem. But guess what? How you side skirt it. You don't tell the bank that you're doing that. They don't need to know. Oh, what is that? It's fraud. No, it's not. Subject to real estate transaction. There's so many of them people don't even realize. It'd be like you, again, putting something on your credit card, and I'm just making your credit card payments. The credit card company doesn't know where the money's coming from. You create a loan processing, or not create, you put the payments going through a loan processing company. The bank has no clue who the hell's making the payments. They just know it's coming from this company. It's not illegal. Remember, due on sale clause is a choice. That's their option. If the actually house got sold with a new mortgage, yes, then it's due. But since the lump sum was not sold, essentially, it's not necessary. Again, title may have transferred, but the loan is still being used as part of the project. Not project, it's actually part of the process, subject to, I'm making the payments. Say for your loan. So you've got a 3% mortgage and you're like, well, I got no equity. I don't want to sell my house because it's going to cost 6% to pay real estate agents. And then with the market down, I'm probably going to have to bring 40 or 50 grand to the closing table. Well, what if I'm like, how about this? I'll pay you 10 grand to walk away and let me take over the payments. You just swung from a monster loss to a win. Oh, but what if I want to buy a house in a couple years? And won't that count against my DTI? Nope. Because the bank, the lender that you're going to go to, you're going to show someone's paying the mortgage every month. And you can pretend it's a landlord. And you can go borrow more money. It won't count against you. 75% the first year. And then after that, 100% of that money will be counted towards. It won't count against your DTI. It'll count like the rent is that payment on that house. That loan is being covered, so it doesn't count against you. And people are like, how does that happen? I'm like, do you not think that investors who have more than 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 houses, do you think they really can actually afford to pay every fucking payment? Do you think that's how they go to the bank? They go, I have 30 houses. I can afford to pay 30 mortgages. No. That's not how it works. No, the bank counts your primary mortgage, obviously DTI, but if you have investment properties, you have other people paying the mortgage, then of course it doesn't count against you, silly. I have that conversation, like, I feel like once a week with somebody who's just like, well, how can you qualify for more houses? Like, you have to be able to pay those mortgages, and like, you have to have the income for it, bro. I guess I'm just talking in the bro. No, you don't. Do you think every institution or investor literally can cover all the mortgage payments with their income? No, that's why the bank gives you the gift to say that, all right, we'll allow the person paying the mortgage, whether it's a tenant, mortgage servicing company, whoever, to make those payments, and we'll count it because, look, it's regular. Well, we don't care. Again, do you think the bank gives a shit? In the end, like, someone's paying the mortgage, right? They're going to get their $1 million of interest or whatever it's going to be over 30 years. They don't care. They just don't want to deal with a foreclosure, ideally, right? They don't want to sell a house. They don't want to deal with that bullshit. Oh, man. Any other thoughts, questions, concerns? Appreciate all you guys. 30-year auction at 1 o'clock. Time is it? Do we have it? No, I guess that's what popped a little bit on it. Yeah. Yep. So. Jump in with a question or not. Forever hold your peace. I'm going to let you guys go. Just, again, I don't expect the market to be up. Watch IWM, watch the banks. Keep an eye on, again, Apple's kind of looking like crapple again. We see NVIDIA up, but it's like, okay, Tesla's down. I mean, this is the thing. It's like a very, like, the market doesn't have, like, full breath behind it. Like, everyone, you know what I mean? Like, it's all solid. It's not. This makes sense? Make dollars make sense? So, all right. If you have any questions, again, please do not hesitate to reach out. If you are struggling, someone's been there to can help you to struggle with your struggles, because no one's perfect. Like, there's going to be times where I struggle, you struggle, we all struggle. Well, what's the strength of the program that I'm trying to create? We help each other out. You can admit, like, people are like, oh, it's been tough on bulls and tough on, or tough on bears. I'm like, well, then you were probably in stocks that were going up and trying to jump in front of them, because there's certain names that, for example, say Tesla, Apple, Airbnb. Again, you pick the name depending on whether it's up or down. Some of the oil games, gold names, banks have been chopping around. I mean, you could have played both. It's been a stock picker's market. And this is the one thing I think a lot of people don't realize is, like, if you got to be careful making these assumptions that it's all up. Like, that's where we digging in, right? If you would have shorted, it's like solar, or you shorted, you went long natural gas. Like, there's it's not just one trade, folks. The market just isn't ripping. I really like FAZ down here, man. Really, really look at this. And again, I don't really love to look at chart leverage ETS, but somebody look at all the volume down here. Here, this is where, again, this is the only thing I'm really watching. Notice all the volume down here. Remember, it just dropped slowly. It wasn't volume. No one was there to pick it up. But then you had it at the highs, and now you have it at the lows. Somebody is catching this stuff. Like, look at this blow off top on the XLF and then chopping. Again, I can't tell you what I know. Like, I don't know for sure that banks will blow up tomorrow on earnings, but I can feel it within, like, again, this is where trading certainties, like, not certainty, but probabilities versus certainties, feel highly probable that at some point there's going to be a big pullback in the banks. They're the one carrying all the economic problems. So I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Have an amazing afternoon. See you for a live, or I'll do a daily market review later. Again, reach out. Use the Coulling link. Again, if you have real estate concerns, trading concerns, say hello. Say hello. All right. Talk to you later. Peace. In the Middle East.